welcoming all the viewers in Massachusetts and all over the social media. My name is Ronald Bernard, and I'm hosting the show called One Brockton. One Brockton is a show that comes through Haitian community partners, and we have with us today Marlene Amidi, who is the chairwoman of the Haitian Partners. Welcome, Molly.
Thank you, Ona, for having us.
Thank you very much. And I'm welcoming also Vedna Lacombe Haywood. Thank you, Vedna, for being here.
Thank you very much for having us.
And Vedna is a board member of Haitian Community Partners. So today for the show, we're going to talk about an interesting topics. And it's very important for the viewers to understand this topic. And we're talking about census. So, Marlene, I know Haitian community partners probably gonna involve in helping with the census. So, what can you say first? What is the census to make like the viewers to understand it?
Well, you want to tackle that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So the census, it is actually, the census started in literally the 1700s.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Yeah,
long time ago. And so, and then was taken over by the Department of Commerce. It is part of our, it's an article that is part of our Constitution.
Yeah. Okay. Article 1.
Article, yes. And so what it did, this was a way to perhaps accurately account for the amount of people that exist here in the United States of America.
Okay. As we say, like one Brockton, so we're going to focus more talking about Brockton and how Haitian community partners are going to involve with the census. So how are you going to involve in what are the, either work or actions?
But again, it's not only how the Haitian community partners going to involve in the census, but it's how the community as a whole has to be involved in the census, because it is very, very important. I'm going to stress that again. The census, the count is very important. It's one of the most important things that the resident in Brockton or in the South Shore
or in the United States.
Oh, United States
Yes.
has to do. The count is very important in so many measures. So therefore, it's not only the Haitian community partners, it's not only the people in Brockton, but in people in Massachusetts as a whole. How it is important for them to be involved and to make sure that everyone, every household is counted.
Okay, when you say you were about to say something?
No, I just wanted to expand on that. It is at the very heart of representation in terms of an American democracy. That is the importance of the census. It is how you exist here in the United States, period.
Can we put a little bit of that?
Okay.
It's mandatory.
And it's mandatory.
It's mandatory. And would I, as the viewer, they are listening to us right now, would the census like covers or includes people, if we're talking about status, like legal status, either like you are documented, undocumented, so everybody needs to be counted?
Everyone needs to be counted. Documented people, undocumented people, resident, citizen, everyone, babies, everyone need to be counted. So regardless of your status.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you exist here on the land, you need to be counted.
Okay.
Yes.
And for instance, in the Haitian community, if we focus more, how like we know sometimes people, they are sensitive about information. Like if I come at your door, and although I show my badge that I'm working for census, but how do you anticipate that could be challenging?
But what I want people to understand, so anyone that's come to your door has a badge of the census with them. They call them enumerators, right? So those people, they are taking an oath. They sign to say that anything that they receive, any information that they receive, those information are confidential.
Okay.
So therefore, they will not share those information with anyone. They will not share this information with immigration. They will not share this information with whatsoever. They are confidential. The purpose of this information is for the Census Bureau itself to make sure that what the Constitution asks us to do, asks them to do, and they follow through with that and do it every 10 years. So it has nothing to do with immigration, with anything else. So we want the community to understand that they can be put their fears, put their fears at ease. So when someone comes to their home and that person present themselves, and also they should not wait until the enumerators come to their home. Because they will mail them the form by mid-March. I believe that they will start to receive the form in the mail. So don't wait. Once you have the mail, you see it. It's gonna be a big envelopes with the census on it. Once you see it, take the time. It's only take 5 to 10 minutes to fill out the form.
So they fill out the form
Most of this is online.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's those who do not complete it. That's when you have
someone coming to your door.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you say when you're not completed, someone coming to your door. And if someone doesn't fill it out at all, send it back, just an example, would someone come to their door?
Well, you know what? Yes, they will receive it, and then they will see that household Jean did not fill, they return the form, but they didn't put anything. So then they will have someone go into their house. So to talk to them and to fill out the application.
The issue with the census, and I understand there are fears, just because at one point they were talking about the citizenship question, and unfortunately those fears are by design. The goal of the census is to actually to combat disinformation. When we are unable to show representation, then that story is made for us. This is an ability for certain communities to stand in solidarity and say that we exist in these numbers, and because of that, we are part of this American society. When you don't do that, that story is written for you. You bypass that chance in order for you to say that you have pockets of communities that exist throughout here. So this is an opportunity to actually stop disinformation and actually to empower communities, because there are monies that are associated with that representation.
Yeah, as you mentioned about the money, would this count help either a city or a state to raise more money?
To receive
the money. This small count of the census help in many, many ways. One way that it's helped, I'm going to talk about one way, and then Beda can talk about other ways as well. So one way that the count is very helpful, it's a political way. In a sense that for apportionment or reapportionment. So every 10 years, so in the there's 435 seats in the House Representatives. So those 435 seats, we apportion them every 10 years to 50 states. So therefore, if the count is not accurate, some cities can lose some seats. 10 years ago, in Massachusetts, we lost 1 seat because we used to have 10 seats.
Whereas Florida gained 2 seats.
We used to have 10 seats in Massachusetts, and because of our count decreased, the population decreased, so we lost 1. We end up having 9 seats. So therefore, this is and then when you lose those seats, guess what? Everything else you're losing on them.
Everything that comes with it.
Everything that comes to it, you lose with that. So that's why it is very important that people make sure that when they receive those applications, so everyone in the household, every household are counted in that process, because we don't want to lose in our population, because when you lose in our population, you lose a benefit of everything else.
Okay.
So that's why it's important. That's one aspect of the counting, the decimal count of the census. So I don't know if you want to talk about
there are several other
the money. Yes,
aspects.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's money. So businesses. Okay. You know, we have one other organization that I'm part of is Haitian Chamber of Commerce, and businesses use the census data to figure out where they're going to set up shop.
Okay.
You know, if you're in a community and it tells you that the data shows you that you have, you know, marginal people, why would you set up shop in an area that you know that you're not going to be making money out of? Okay. And not only that, you're also figuring out data as to what type of business would actually serve these communities. So it's how you're opening stores, offices, factories. And not only that, job opportunities for people in those communities. Federal dollars are attached to that in terms of education. So when you're talking about what state and local communities need for educational programs in schools, we receive federal dollars. You know, a lot of our educational dollars are state and local, but we also receive federal dollars in terms of specific programs for schools. And those programs are programs that affect marginalized, you know, either students or students with different abilities. And so if we're unable to count those people, then we're shortchanged on those dollars, and then that becomes the burden of the local government, your local and state government. So this is, you know, this is how the census affects us. Here in Massachusetts, each person is attached to $2,300 plus.
Okay.
Each person.
Each person. Of federal dollars. In other communities, just depending on where you are, it could be $1,800. I think the average is $1,800, but here in Massachusetts, it's $2,300. So if you can imagine, if a community is just undercounted by 10,000 people,
so you see how much money we lose.
That's 20 million plus dollars that one community is losing. That's how important this is.
And also, this count also help with the infrastructures. So help with Medicare and our seniors, they need that. And also it's help with in case of an emergency as well. So they know how to plan for emergency. So if they don't know the count of the population, sometimes they might not know. They want to know how many children are in the city. They want to know in the state. They want to know how many elderlies are in the state. So therefore, when they are doing the planning, so they know how to plan. So based on the demographic that they have, that's one thing that the census catches. Those questions are very simple when you receive the form. It's a form. It's very simple, asking you your date of birth, your gender,
and the form, without interrupting you, the form is it like linguistically, you know,
in multiple languages.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Haitian Creole, Cambodian Creole, Spanish, Vietnamese, Mandarin. So any languages. So
that's not a barrier.
They're predominant languages. It's mostly the predominant languages that are spoken here in the United States. I will, when she talks about emergency services, like health is wealth. So, so even where your hospitals are built, emergency services are given, that is based on census information. That's based on census information. So if you don't have that, then you lack services in terms of, you know, whether that's, you know, health for your child, you know, family members and so forth. And it causes you to actually go into other areas, making longer drives.
Definitely.
And, you know, which actually decreases, depending on how emergent this situation is, you know, this is time lost.
Okay. I'm looking at more of the Haitian community in Brockton, and I think we are the third in terms of population-wise.
Yeah, in total population-wise, yeah.
Okay. So how, I know, you know, some of our folks, when I say that Haitian, we sometimes, if you take the elderly group, you take either the youth, and so if we focus more on the elderly, for instance, if the person, they are kind of illiterate and they need like support to to fill out the form, so how what you think, or how the Haitian Community Partnership, do you have partners, do you have your door open receiving people or helping people to sign up for census? Or
yes, we do. That's one initiative that we are planning to do starting in March.
Okay.
So to have some hours available to help people once they receive the census form, if they don't know how to fill it out. So we'll be able to give them the support that they need to help them fill it out themselves. So, and also the one good thing about the census, they hired people with the language base, so to help as well. Some of the enumerators, they are Haitian speaking, they are Cape Verdean speaking, they are Spanish, they are different languages, so that to help with their own population. So therefore, if they see that Elder X did not return the form, so they will send someone at Elder X house that speaks that Elder X language, so that they can help that person understand the form and help them with the form.
Okay.
And hopefully too, I know that in different communities as well, that some of the libraries will also be assisting, because the majority of this will be online. I think people have to understand that.
Okay.
So that is that will be a barrier, considering that not everyone has a computer on their phone. So, but it's still of utmost importance that if you don't have a computer or or such, that you could possibly go to libraries, or even I don't know if there are going to be like mobile computer stations where people can fill that out as well.
And then I believe that in most of the big town and city, they hired people, the Election Bureau hired people that they're for that, so to help people with the outreach for the census, to help people to fill out the form and if they have any questions, so stuff like that, so that, or to reach different organizations in the community to talk about the census as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Actually, I
yes.
do want to speak. So one of the bigger things is identifying like hard to count areas. So so here in Massachusetts, we have about 20 towns and cities that are hard to count. And so how they identify these hard to count areas are people who rent and move frequently. Okay. So if you're moving around, please know you still have to fill out the census. If you're living in group quarters, so a lot of times people don't want to say, you can have Marie and Jean living in the house, and then there are 5 other people that are living there as well. We only know Marie and Jean. We want to know the 5 other people that are living in those in their house as well. Also, too, there could be unrelated friends, family members, unrelated friends or whomever living in those houses. We want to know that as well. This distrust that you talk about the government. Okay. Like we had mentioned before, it's by design that they don't want you to fill out the census, because by filling out the census, the federal government is responsible for the dollars attached to each person that is represented through that census. Okay. Obviously, people who don't speak a common language, that's another thing. People of lower economic status, lower educational status, illiteracy, as you mentioned, that's a different story. And then also people who don't live in like standard homes, like people
shelters.
Exactly.
But again, I think it is our responsibility as most, organizations in the community and people that's activists in the community. So this is our responsibility as well, to make sure that we bring the information to the people and help them understand why it is important to fill out the census. Why it is important when they receive that form, if they don't understand, to reach out to someone that they know and make them understand that when they say we count, so the count is not supposed to be I am, as Bedna said, there's other people that can come to your house, but they don't have a physical address, but they sleep at your home every night. But those people need to be counted as well as part of your household, regardless if they're not officially part of your household. But you need to put them on the form as well.
Children, babies, 20,000 children were not counted in the census.
Wow.
Last time in 2010, I think it was over 1 million that were not counted in total persons in Massachusetts. So it's vitally important.
It is very important. It is.
Okay. So all the viewers, this is One Brockton. You are listening, and we have Marlene Amidi and Vedna Lacombe Haywood, who you've been talking about census and explained the importance of everybody needs to be counted and why it's important to be counted and the impact it has if you are not counted. Yeah. So we continue with the conversation, and what can you say as the last words for people to probably be more motivated in order to participate in the census?
All right. So for me, what I will say to people, so think about the privilege that you have. You have schools, you have hospital, you have you have some benefits instead of the TPS, instead of the benefits, instead of like the food stamp. You have parks for your children.
Yes.
You have road that you drive, you drive your car, and you have so many things that that you use daily that you take for granted. But those things, there's a dollar attached to them.
Okay.
And the dollar that attached to them has something to do with how many people live in your area. So therefore, to know how many people that live in your area, we have to count them. Okay. So it is very important. If we want to continue to have those privileges,
you need to be counted.
You need to be counted. So therefore, I want to see more school coming to Brockton.
Absolutely.
I want to see more parks coming to Brockton. But in order to have those things, we need to have the money.
Yes.
So if we not count the people, so we won't have that money. And then one thing that is very important too, redistricting. We do not talk about the redistricting.
So yes, so in terms of redistricting, so once the census numbers have come in, so by the end of 2020 into 2021, that's when your local governments will start looking to say, okay, so now we have X amount of people in X amount of area. We're going to redistrict these lines, these lines, and the redistricting affects. Political representation on the local government. People have to understand your local government affects you more than the presidential race.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to be you have to be mindful of those people who actually run for these seats. So redistricting is a result of the census. And in some communities, that redistricting
is vital.
It is vital. It allows for one person to have one set of people to have a voice and one not to.
Okay.
One not to. So this allows us to have everyone to be counted, everyone to have a voice, regardless if you have status or not. These people are still speaking for you in your communities.
Okay.
So it is very, very, very important so that people fill out the form.
Okay.
And make sure, not only fill out the form, and make sure count every single person that lives in a household.
Okay. And would you mind to remind everybody when the census, when they're gonna probably start to, receive?
I believe the second week of March. Okay. That's when they're gonna start receiving the form. Yes.
And they probably can go online too and fill it out.
They can go online and fill it out as well. So if they don't return they will receive phone call as well. So they will receive the form. Once they receive the form, I think they will give them a week or two. So if they don't receive the form back, so they will call them.
Okay.
So after the call, so then you will have someone that you will you will have a reminder about the form. So they will do everything
to make sure
that your household is counted.
Okay.
So that's why when you receive that form, it is very important that you fill it out. If you have any question, call people that go to the library, go to the city hall, and asking questions. So and people that you know that might have more information, ask them questions how to fill the form. So because it is very important that we fill out the form.
And we as people of color, and that goes throughout
America,
we are the ones that are the most undercounted.
Okay.
So therefore, this is how we get disrupted in terms of our services, in terms of advancing, in terms of being represented in communities. Like she mentioned, online, by phone, in person, is how the census will be given. And then this will go through June, I believe, because by April is when the enumerators will start.
Will start coming out, yes.
Okay.
So therefore, you have plenty of time before you have someone to come to your house to tell you that, hey,
you got it to do it.
You have to get things together and fill that form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And also know that the information that's received by law, if they use this information, this private information against you, they will incur a fine. I think the fine is like $250,000, and it's up to, I think, 7 years in jail.
In jail.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yep. So they're not playing with that. It's very serious. As I said at the beginning of the show, the census is mandatory. It's our constitutional right to be counted.
Yes.
Yeah, and you also mentioned people who are in the census, they take an oath in order to protect the privacy of information received.
That they received. Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Marlene and Edna and Vedna, for being at the show and talking about census. And I believe like all the viewers, they have found a lot of useful information and like ease the fear and make them understand that they need to be counted, and when you are counted, all the benefits that come for your city, your community, and your state through that. So all the viewers, my name is Ronald Bernard, and I'm hosting this show called One Brockton, and this show has been bringing to you by Haitian Community Partners, and we have Marlene, who is the chairwoman of the Haitian Community Partners, and Vedna, who is the board members of Haitian Community Partners. Thank you both for being here, and thank you all the viewers for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Ouais, tout j'ai braqué sous. J'en tout cas semble goûter mielou. Même femelle vle vin font la cour. Bien ça qui campé au jaloux. Ou met tout le monde en garde à vous. Personne baga fait demi-tour. Chaque fois ouvert bouchou pour parler. Tout le monde attendait. Assoyez à la c'est vous qui règne. Vous méritez beaucoup t'amène. Aïe, vous mettez l'autre dans la peine. Ou sans problème, qui va de solution. Ou sans problème, qui change émotion. À l'instant même, c'est tout le monde qui sous tension. Vous faites les hommes à soleil, vous faites la femme de DH. c'est sous yo te copié. Yon secret moun pap ka kompran. Ou son di fait pas j'en fais son. Aïe, l'on est gado li pap sisman. Ou son problème qui pas de solution. Ou son poème qui chante émotion. À l'instant même, c'est tout le monde qui sous tension. Ou fait les hommes ouais avec soleil. Ou fait la vague de G.I.J. Nikki!